Ah, yes. Here we are once again. It's noon Eastern Time on a Wednesday, of course, which means it's time for the High Noon Hemp Show. Live, of course, and video on demand on the Temptations Beach Facebook page, the Jedi Hemp YouTube channel, and at Temptations on Twitter. Podcast, of course, if you want audio only, check out Podbean, Google Play, or iHeartRadio. Search the High Noon Hemp Show, and you will find the podcast. I am Joe Clare in snowy Kentucky. He is Beach in snow-covered Sharonville, Ohio. Beach, how are things in the world of snowy temptations?
Snowy Hemp, they are very good. Welcome, everyone, to the High Noon Hemp Show. It is cold and snowy, and um, that is, in fact, what it is. As I sit high above the Sharonville location in Evendale. It's been just going to be like this. Here's the weather, folks. That's the way it's like in Cincinnati. No doubt about it. Um, we're chugging along. Find us everywhere. I am watching the YouTube feed. So if you're out there watching the YouTube feed and you want to talk to me, you can chat with me on the chat box. Ask me anything, talk to me anything, say hi, whatever it may be. Welcome, everybody. It's high noon. It's the High Noon Hemp Show. I am Beach. That is Joe Clare. We are here to tell you everything we can about hemp this week. Um, Local, what I call local news. I usually open the show with things that pertain to us or Ohio. Um, Again, I had another customer come in when I was working in one of the stores whose dermatologist sent them into Hemptations for our Hemptations CBD stuff because they thought it could help, um, obviously, with something that was going on with this gentleman's skin. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
try to be personal, but that being said, again, more evidence that CBD is really good stuff. It's always nice when a doctor, an actual doctor, sends somebody into the store because they realize once again that this over-the-counter substance could help their patients.
If it's aware on the internet, who knows? It's a weather thing,
Oh, here we go. That's
maybe,
right. It's so
hopefully.
cold out that the internet signal is not going to work.
Got to warm up the machine,
So
warm up the internet machine.
we'll see if the second wave does it for us. Anyway,
I'm hoping.
and
Again, I
we'll
don't
move
know
right on to the.
if the weather does affect it or not, but I would imagine it has to have some effect with all the snow
We're
and
going to
all
blame
of
the
the
weather on
equipment.
that for
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah,
Screw you,
it's got to
weather,
be messing up satellites and why all that stuff.
messing
Yeah,
us up.
weather. Dang nature.
Darn
I
it.
love it. All right, well, let's jump right into the product spotlight this week. The first product that we have is Delta 8, actually. The Delta 8 is becoming very popular. And this is now Delta 8 in shatter and dabs, which is also very popular. Um, in that world, and so Delta 8 is, again, it's not a cannabinoid that is showing benefits and helping people with certain things one way or another. And so these are some new Delta 8 stuff that we picked up. This next one, the wild hemps, we've actually carried. These are probably our most popular, what they call hempettes. Currently we have them pineapple, sweets, green haze, and now in cool menthol. And again, I truly believe that the hempettes um, may, I truly believe that they may help, especially if you're trying to quit cigarettes.
Yeah.
This is just another way. Once again, it's a quick distribution of CBD with smoking or vaping because it goes straight into the lungs. We don't recommend, once again, smoking anything, but if you are a smoker, these are much better for you. I can almost guarantee you that than tobacco cigarettes. And again, uh, that CBD is right into the bloodstream, so you're gonna get those benefits of CBD instantly when you are smoking CBD flower. Next one. mentioning the cold weather, the snowy weather. This is the current selection of um, Hemp Hoodlamb's women's jackets. Most of these, I believe, are the women's um, jackets, and we have a really decent selection of backstock at the Sharonville location. If you're looking for a winter coat, we have plenty, and trust me, um, these keep you warm and keep you dry. There's no doubt about it. I love my hemp hoodlamb jackets when it's true. And the last one here, again, because of the dryness, we've I've shown Earthly Body products many a time. We just got stocked up, and most of the scents in the 7 ounce little tubes you can see here. And so, if you've been missing a certain scent in one of your locations, we should be stocked back up um, with it. Getting all these new, or just it's not new, but the 7 ounce tubes in. And so, dry skin, it's dry out there. Uh, Hemp oil, nothing's better for dry skin than hemp oil. And that may just be my opinion, but there's a lot of facts that probably back that up too. And then the one from my door is my snowboard. Again, quite prevalent right now. I know that my boy is going over to do some skiing over at Perfect North. We do have a nice little hill here in the Cincinnati area. Um, it's nothing like a mountain, um, that's for sure, but it is a nice little hill that you can go over and ski on. So we got fresh snow. But this is again, there is a layer or two. If you don't know anything about skateboards or snowboards or skis, um, they are layers of different woods and synthetic materials or whatever to give you a little bit of flexibility and still stay kind of firm, so to speak. And so when they add the hemp, they run a sheet of hemp in there somewhere, which again adds stability and durability. And so that's where the hemp is. It's inside the snowboard, which is multi-layered of materials. So there you have it, folks. 4 from the store, 1 from my door, as I like to say, on the product spotlight here on the High Noon Hemp Show.
Indeed.
Little earthquake.
If you're ever wondering about what kind of hemp clothing you should wear when there's 10 inches of snow on the ground and it's 20 degrees, well, you just happen to be in the right place in the right time watching or listening to this show. Because every show, I ask Beach a simple question, and Beach gives me a very important answer, which I'm going to do right now. Hey, what are you wearing, Beach?
Today, that's right, my outfit is in fact brought to you by cold weather and snow on the ground. Uh, Although I could say my jacket's probably not the warmest, but I've got my winter hat there from Wink and Son Hemp Company, um, and uh, and then hemp hoodlamb jacket with my Green Springs Technology T-shirt. Rest in peace. It's an Ono tee, just so you know. Ono is one of the best hemp tee brands out there. Got my Hemptopia briefs with my Orvis pants, and of course, if you look closely, I've got my Hempies belt and also my Green Springs Technology pen sticking out of my front pocket there, and then some Satori socks and my definitely winter boots from Wicked. And so, yes, very much dressed for the weather or the conditions, I should say, more than anything today. If you're wondering, what are you wearing, Beach? Now you know. That's one way I do
Mm,
it when it's snowy. Although I'd probably put on another jacket
yeah.
if I was going to be outside for a long period of time. So today I was just driving down here, and again, I can almost coast down the hill to where my office is from my house. So, see what's going on with some hemp news here this week. And an article talking about scalp or dandruff issues. Of course, they recommend tea tree and hemp oil, and they say that if you just apply this twice a day, it will help remove what they call sebum or oily secretions and dead skin cells, um, what should lead to less itchy or less flakes overall. Um, and so, if you do suffer from dandruff, and dandruff is a genetic trait, it's not something that you get or catch, just so you know. Um, my understanding is that dandruff is part of your genetic makeup, and that's just how your skin and it gets rid of oil or dead flakes. Sometimes I think it's bigger than not or whatever. I don't know. What how that shows up as dandruff. Of course, I've always known because I've had dandruff issues in the past um, that tea tree and hemp oil were good. They've all the most of the natural remedies for dandruff, if you go online or do some research, are going to include tea tree oil. That's been the standard. Um, More and more now, we're seeing people add the hemp oil because they're seeing how beneficial hemp oil is to the skin and how it can help with these issues. More proof of that here when it comes to dandruff or itchy scalp issues if you have those. So there you go. Try that if you need some natural remedy for your dandruff or itchy scalp. Here's some fun. Of course, the big game. The big game happened this last week, and if you don't know the greatest quarterback of all time, I don't know if you're a sports fan or not. You can just go ahead and if you're not a sports fan, you can just say that, and people can't argue with you. If you are a sports fan, you have to know that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback ever in the history of the game. It's just you can't argue it, in my opinion, anymore. Once again, my opinion, but pretty much backed up by facts. Um, what does Tom enjoy every morning? Every morning, a blueberry smoothie that includes both hemp milk and hemp seeds. So there you have it, folks. If you want to be like Tom, then get yourself some hemp milk, get yourself some hemp hearts, um, get yourself a smoothie maker,
Right?
and
Hemp
then
wins,
go to
wins Super
town.
Bowls.
Hemp wins Super Bowls. That's right, folks. I should say the big game because I don't know if we're allowed to say Super Bowl. I know.
Hey.
I I am not using the two words Super Bowl for financial gain.
Yes.
I mean, maybe that'll get me from being sued. We may get a disclaimer, or we may get a cease and desist on this episode of the High Noon Hemp Show.
Hey, that'd be something.
Yeah, wouldn't it though? We'll have to beep it out. Beep beep. That'd be great. Um, Again, I've mentioned this in the past. Here's more proof, and I don't know if this is more backed up because I feel like I've mentioned the studies in Austria that are going on. Um, but this study was done on ICU patients, and they used a cannabis compound, CBD, and they showed that it had beneficial effects across a range of medical issues. If I regress, this was about COVID. They were, looking for alternative solutions for COVID recovery and severe COVID recovery, obviously, if they're in the ICU. Um, what they're proving, and this again, not just for COVID, but for other medical issues, that patients recover faster than other currently available therapies. And so, here is CBD proving that, and we've seen some other stuff about how it does aid with the recovery of especially the lung part side effects we've seen already. And so, here we're showing that it could speed up the recovery of COVID. And so, um, I'll be drinking bottles of 300 if I get it. Uh,
Yeah.
but again, just this is more proof coming from the medical world, and this is not just people saying this, but and so hopefully they're doing the research here in the United States. Somebody in the United States should be doing the research. We're not over this yet. I do think we're finally possibly on the way down with the vaccines getting rolled out and people continuing to do the right thing, regardless if they really want to or not. Um, although, you know, that all depends on where you are as well. Some places you go and you see nobody with masks, and some places you go and everybody's wearing masks. But I don't really go anywhere, so I shouldn't say. But I've seen pictures. Put on the hemp mask, folks. Still, we got a ways to go with that one. Um, Here's some legislation to watch in your state if you live in any of these states. California, AB 45 and SB 235 would allow the distribution and sale of CBD as food, beverage, and dietary supplement. So if you live in California, get a hold of your legislators. Let them know that you support AB 45 and SB 235. Again, California, without any reason, made CBD illegal in food years ago. Uh, and so hopefully we can get that turned around in California and open up a huge industry that should be recognized. Connecticut HB 6099 would make more testing in the state a requirement for CBD. So what this I believe is going to require is that all your testing has to be done in state on I think even if you're bringing products in, so then you got to have that product tested. Again, it's a step backwards because at some point the CBD was tested because that's a federal requirement, and so why you have to have the CBD tested again in the state just seems like the state trying to make money in redundancy, which, as we do know, that's how politicians love to work sometimes. So if you're in Connecticut, say no, tell your legislators no to HB 6099. New Hampshire, going the same way of California, excuse me, with HB 272, which authorizes the sale of CBD in foods and food additives and would make all food products, but it would make all food products, they would have to be made in New Hampshire. So it's a step forward and kind of a step backwards um, because it would make it legal to put hemp CBD in foods, but you would have to manufacture that food in New Hampshire to sell it in New Hampshire. Um, so, again, I guess you're protecting New Hampshire all the way around. Um, but, it's good and it's bad. Good and it's bad. So I don't know what to tell you to do there. Tell them you support the part about it being the food additive. Tell them you don't support the part about it having to be done in New Hampshire. That's, it's not fair to the consumers, really, because that limits the availability of what the retailer can offer. If you're in New Hampshire, then yeah, make yourself some hemp food products and get somewhere local and sell them. Because that too is a good, great thing. I'm not trying to not support local, um, but it would greatly limit, I think, especially early, the availability of the products to begin with.
Yeah.
When they're readily available in states that are okay with that, because they should be, because CBD is not illegal and putting it in food is not illegal. That's just making food claims about it is not legal. So there. Utah SB 39 would. Oops, I'm sorry. I already talked about that one, didn't I? Or no, I didn't. In Utah, SB 39 would make it illegal to add CBD to food or alcoholic beverages. Um, Again, that's ridiculous. Has anybody died in Utah from hemp foods that are legal now, or possibly hemp alcoholic beverages that are legal now? I doubt it. I'm going to go with a no. There's zero reason to do that. Zero reason. If I can buy it in a tincture form, which I'm going to put in my mouth underneath my tongue, government, why can't I eat it in food? It's absurd.
You would hate
It's
to
just simply absurd.
reduce the safety of alcohol by adding something like CBD to it.
That's right. That's right. Something that could possibly aid with making you more sober, or, but anyway. Here's the last one. If you are in Virginia, SB 1115 clarifies that hemp products can include raw materials from any part of the plant and are added to foods and beverages. And so, what I'm guessing there is maybe there's a controversy with hemp leaf. Maybe people are trying to sell hemp leaf salads, and because again, that's the only other raw material. Clarifies that hemp products can include raw materials from any part of the plant. That's the only thing that makes sense is they're trying to use hemp leaves in a salad because they're not talking about CBD foods or beverages, and so I don't know. That one's kind of confusing because again, it's just a clarification. I feel like it's like Ohio's laws that really just clarified that CBD is legal and the hemp is legal, and you can use the whole plant for whatever you want to use it for as long as it has less than 0.3% THC. And you've paid all your licensing and processing and all those things here in Ohio. Um, but that is what our bill did when we passed it. It did make CBD legal or legal. It made growing industrial hemp legal in Ohio, but it just clarified that CBD was in fact legal. Um, so there you have it. A little bit of news. Let's see some events coming up in just a couple days in Frankfurt. You've got the Kentucky Hemp, the February 13th, the Kentucky Hemp CBD Trade Show, which is at the Capitol Plaza Hotel in Frankfurt, Kentucky. So again, check online, make sure that these events are still happening. Um, because anything's bound to happen up to the day of the event, in my opinion, depending on what's going on with when the COVID-19. February 22nd, 23rd, you've got the Industrial Hemp Summit in Danville, Virginia. March 1st, you've got the Show Me Hemp Conference, bringing the market to you at the Doubletree by Hilton in Jefferson City, Missouri. March 18th and 19th is the second annual Michigan Cannabis Industrial Marketplace Expo, Frankenmuth Credit Union, which is in Birch Run, Michigan. And then, of course, the end of March, March 25th and 27th, you got NOCO in Denver. April 17th and 18th, you got the Pennsylvania Cannabis Festival and Renniger's Antique and Farmers Market in Kutztown, one of the greatest names, Kutztown, Pennsylvania. I don't know why I like that name so much, but I do. May 19th and 20th, of course, right here in the lovely Cincinnati, Ohio, at the Duke Energy Convention Center, the Ohio and Kentucky Cannabis and Hemp Expo. So if you'd like to come visit the big city, the big medium-sized city of Cincinnati, as I like to call it, good a reason as any. Come on in for the Ohio Kentucky Cannabis Hemp Expo in May. Go check out one of the local hemptations, and of course, I recommend O'Brienville because that's the oldest. It's the hemp root store, so to speak. It's the baby. It's my baby. 25 years old. It's my baby. Um, and so, yeah, there you have it. That's what's going on. Um, Now, I haven't gotten any questions for the Ask Beach Anything again this week. So, my thoughts this week kind of go towards how hemp, how to use hemp to show your love on what I call Hempentines Day, Hempentines Day. And there are many ways. We've got hemp chocolate. We've got hemp lotion, massage oil. CBD is great. Give a little calm to the day. Maybe take off a little pressure for the love of your life. Um, Clothing, not a bad thing for a gift. We have all kinds of things, and especially the body products. I think are a great Hempentine Day gift for someone. Um, for that matter, the smokables that we carry show a lot of love sometimes to your love, and so you know, get into a Hemptations, uh, for its uniqueness, or find a hemp product, that you can get mailed to you in time to give them. It's Sunday coming up, all over, no matter where you are, um, in the world, and show your love with hemp because it's unique. For one thing, there's no doubt about its uniqueness, and it means you maybe put some thought into it instead of chocolates and candy. Not saying you can't, find some candy here. You
Mhm.
can. You find some hemp candy. There's no doubt online. You can find hemp candy, and so it surprise your loved one if you do that with a hemp gift on Hempentine's Day. Hempentine's, Valentine's, Hempentine's. That's what I mean to say. It's Um, that being said, remember, reduce, recycle, reuse, make everything else out of hemp. Having temptations.
See you all next week.